This week we have an amazing show, jam-packed, and we've got a couple of prizes to give away as well. First up, the good folks over at Mantic are giving you the chance to work with them to design a new piece of terrain on their new Kickstarter. As well as that, the winner is actually going to get a set of the terrain from that Kickstarter. Next up, the guys from Faith RPG, currently finishing up on Kickstarter, are giving away a set of fantastic looking sci-fi minis. So, get your comments in, and hopefully you could be a winner. This episode is supported by Battlefilm.com.
Humanity has been driven from Earth, but now it's time to take it back. Join the Reconquest and fight the Scourge on the Drop Zone Commander Hub at beastsofwar.com. Twisted aliens and demented cultists battle across the devastating science fiction world of Dark Age. Muster your forces and learn to survive at beastsofwar.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Weekender. It's time to get the weekend started.
Happy weekend! Yes,
get underway.
Relax.
What a bumper show. There's loads and loads of really cool stuff.
Don't throw your sheet away this week, we need that.
There's competitions. We've got some interesting stuff in the World of Games Workshop. But before all of that, not next week, but the week after is Guild Ball Week!
Ooh, yeah.
So we've got a full week dedicated to probably one of the finest tabletop games out there, and certainly the finest tabletop sports game that's out there, Guild Ball. It's just incredible. If you want to see one of the most elegant game mechanics that you're ever likely to see, tune into that. And we've got amazing prizes. And we're hoping to get the Guild Ball guys onto the Weekender next weekend as well.
Yeah, so through the week, what you've got is myself and John doing training matches, then getting to play against each other, then the Guild Ball guys getting to play against each other. We've got tons of faction chats, and we've got a really nice in-depth look at the kickoff two-player start set.
Yes,
Sweet.
That's right. We have a new series.
Yeah.
When I say it's a series, it's a kind of a thing that we're going to be doing. It's called the Guild Ball Proving Grounds. Okay. And what they did was we have two trainers.
Yeah.
One trains Justin, the other trains John.
So this time, coaches.
Yeah, coaches. Okay. So you get to watch Justin going through a coaching match, John going through a coaching match, then John and Justin going head to head.
Oh, they face off.
They face off
With
the big
teams,
fight.
With the teams that we've been trained to use.
and then you see the coaches going head to head. So you get to see the decks doing it as well as the experts. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. There's going to be a ton of prizes. I'm really looking forward to it. Bear in mind though, next weekend is also Salute weekend. Okay,
Yes, that's right, yep.
and I'm heartbroken.
You're not going.
No, I'm not going. I'm just not fit enough yet to be able to go. Salute would kill me if I went there.
Yeah. So Justin, Lance, and Ben are going to be
Justin,
holding down the
Lance,
fort.
Ben, and Peachy
Yes.
And Peachy.
are going to be our four-man team. They're going to be live blogging all weekend. There will be prizes, I'm sure.
Well,
We've got some really interesting stuff. We're going to be touching base with loads and loads of the suppliers. And I'm basically saying to Justin, I want stuff on Vikings. Find me.
Oh,
find me
don't
cool
worry.
Viking stuff,
I will
so-
be stopping off with the Saga guys, having a nice little word with them. You know,
Yes.
I'll maybe even bring you back a little 4-point Dane warband.
No, don't want Danes. Vikings.
Northern Fury's back in print,
Is it?
if anybody's interested.
What's Northern Fury?
It's one of the expansion books.
And is it about Vikings?
Yes.
Nice.
I want it.
Well,
I want it.
yes,
then.
it would be,
Yes.
but yeah.
You hear the words Northern Fury, that kind of makes you think Viking.
If you were-
honest.
If you were a backstager, you would have heard me last week waxing lyrical about the Vikings TV show, all about Ragnar Lothbrok and by the History Channel, and I am so in love. I can't remember a TV show that has energized me for mini-gaming as much as the Vikings.
What have I been saying?
It's just blowing my mind. I absolutely love it. So I'm having an ongoing dispute with Justin because there can only be one Ragnar in Beasts of War.
Yeah, and I got there first.
Yeah, but
look, I've got the shaven head, I've got the beard. I know I haven't got the weight for it. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I'm bigger than you. I'm bigger than you.
So if we take you and shove you together,
Oh, God, no.
big jelly mess.
No.
What I'm
no,
looking
no.
forward to is actually getting a bit of hobby time. So I have ordered myself up a handful of kind of leaders and special characters.
Oh, so did you grab the Herdman box?
No. I went out and I looked for individual models that I thought were really cool. I have no idea if they're going to fit yet or not, but I'm waiting for them to come in, and then I'm going to build them up and then show them off. But I'll talk about that in backstage on XLBS in hobby time. But I'm very, very excited about that show. It's just been brilliant. In other news, we are looking to introduce a new show called Hobby Night Live. Okay, it possibly might do its first airing on the 27th of this month. Okay,
Possibly
I
might.
say possibly might because the kind of the way we have to work this is we have all the technical issues to sort out, then all the content issues to sort out, and then the timing. The timing was I say the easy part. It's the bit that we've decided, right? So technical issues this week. We've been working on all the technical aspects. So we want this to be quite flexible. So we're running multiple cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, actually, we're running multiple studios if we do this
Well,
right.
we've had you in the roof space pulling wires all over the place.
Oh yeah, I've been running around like a cable monkey
That's
all week.
because I trust nobody to pull wire the way Justin does. He's brilliant.
I have plenty of experience pulling wires. Let's be honest. Out of all of us, I'm the one that will be
You're
pulling
the
wires
best
the
at
most.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, he has more time for it than the rest of us.
Exactly.
Now, what we did discover, though, and to get us back on point, is that the wire was ineffective. So what we had found was we're having to recable. So we've been running into technical issues, but we did by the end of the week get a rough filmed thing that we were able to look at and say, now that's what the live show is going to look like. We were missing some cameras and we had audio sync issues, so it was a bit like, what if I 5e?
That just makes it even more like live TV. If you're not watching news reports.
So all been well, we will get all of that resolved and we will go live at 8 p.m. BST. So we're in British summertime at the moment. So we'll go live at 8 p.m. British summertime. It'll be a 4-hour show, and it's Hobby Night Live. So the idea is it's an interactive show that people will be able to join in with. It might be via Twitter, it might be via chat or something. We haven't decided that yet. You'll be able to send us your projects and things like that. Stuff you're working on, we'll be bringing it up and showing them off. We might be able to get people onto Ben's screen here to talk to us on the night as well.
It's a technical might. At the
Yes,
minute.
everything is kind of.
This is proving quite tricky.
Do we have the bandwidth?
Well, we're going to find out. That's why we're pushing really, really hard to get to the 27th, is because it needs an ultimate shakedown for us to see if we have the bandwidth and stuff like that to be able to do it. But the theme of the Hobby Night Live for the first one, and then we have them scheduled out for roughly the last Thursday of every month. Some months it's a bit earlier because we maybe have stuff going on. But we have actually been able to block into the schedule Hobby Night Live now for the rest of the year. If we can get over the technical difficulties and if the show's any good. But our Hobby Night Live on the 27th will be about pre-heresy 30k Space Wolves. Which takes me right back to the fact that I've got a boner for Vikings at the moment, so I'm going to get to work on Space
Vikings.
So it's great. It is great. So so if you're interested in that, we really would like you to get involved. The idea is it turns into a weekend's entertainment. So it's a Thursday night, 4 hours, 8 p.m. to midnight. That last hour should hopefully hit around the 6 p.m. mark for those on the East Coast of the States. So we'll call that US hour. So hopefully you'll be able to join in. The,
Well,
the show will be available to backstagers after the fact.
If I've worked it out correctly, it'll be 9 o'clock CET, Central Europe time,
Yeah.
and it'll be 3 o'clock, whatever the East Coast time is.
Yeah.
So-
Well, the way we're pitching this to you guys in the States is, come on Friday, you know you'll be bored anyway, so you just want to log in and just kick back and watch. However, we will be saying to people to get involved in, we will have a corresponding forum topic that we will be monitoring, okay, where you can upload your own progress and your own projects. And the idea is that this kicks it off for the weekend. So, and over the course of the Friday, the Saturday, and the Sunday, then you, as a community, you can band together and keep showing off what you're working. And we're thinking like once a month, get together, hobby time.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. So the show is the thing that really kicks off.
The show's a
An ongoing
catalyst for ongoing
conversation
stuff over the weekend. Yeah.
and show and tell.
Our other update is the Beast of War Gaming Awards nominations for the third annual awards have now opened. Oh boy, the nominations have been going boom. Please, do get involved in that. Come across the Beast of War, make your nomination, but also put a post onto your social networks, onto your Twitter, onto your Facebook, and ask your friends to do it. The reason being, and the reason we want to get as wide and as diverse an amount of people making nominations is because it helps draw out the most interesting products and painters and sculptors and stuff like that of the year. Because for me, the annual awards is about the little surprises. So it's not always about the winners, I've got to say. Sometimes I think some of the really interesting products end up in the finalists and stuff like that. So to try and get as much diversity into there as possible, please help us spread the word. If you're a company, and we have reached out to all the companies that we were able to, so some hundreds of them have already been contacted, but if you're a company, to enter, all you have to do is reach out to your fan base and get them to nominate you. You don't have to fill in the entire nominations form, just fill in the bits that you know of.
So if fantasy gaming's your thing, just fill in the fantasy
fill
game.
in the fantasy bit. We will be picking one winner who's going to win a mystery box of about 500 quid's worth of product.
The mystery box.
Again, it's a mystery box because we don't want to push one brand or something like that over it. We try to keep the awards
Fair.
as neutral as we can. But I've been blown away by the volume of nominations and stuff like that have come through so far. So please help us spread the word on that, and then we will move to the voting for the finalists in each category.
To the voting.
We have a prize in this episode.
We do. So we have something from Adepticon, if I remember. We were giving away a VIG swag bag.
Well, that's one of the things we need to do is we need to announce the winner of the VIP swag bag.
Yeah.
And Ben has the details. Ben, don't you?
Yeah,
do that now?
Right. So wait. Before that, so Adepticon took place 2 weekends ago.
Yep.
Yes.
Don and Gianna were there giving our live vlog coverage over the course of the entire weekend.
Yep.
The amazing VIP swag bag was unboxed. If you didn't see it.
VIG, not VIP, VIG,
Sorry,
very important gamer.
VIG swag bag was unboxed. So if you hadn't seen it, it's definitely worth going and taking a look at. We're giving it away. Who was the winner?
The winner of that was the very, very lucky Crazy Carbo, who managed to walk away with GW Carrier Case, Rune Wars, Horde's Primal Book, Malifaux Models, MicroStart Studio Bases. There was a couple of sprues in there for Bolt Action. There was a Wildest X's book. There was some stuff from Prodos, Wreck Age, Knuckle Duster, all sorts of different things in there for people who really like their gaming and, experimenting with interesting, cool models and stuff and seeing which sort of avenues you might want to go down in the future and things. Also, some really cool little bits of Adepticon swag in there as well, specifically from them, like pins and badges and stuff too. So really good stuff.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
The thing was jam-packed. He was telling me about it earlier, and I kind of got up and walked away and made a cup of tea. And I came back and he was still,
You were still good.
I was on the Skype and he was still yammering away. And I was like,
Well, one of the other really interesting things that happened at Adepticon Past is that Games Workshop took an official presence at the show and took Warhammer TV. And we actually got an interview with them. that we'll show you now. And really, what this is highlighting is this. I don't know, this new approach, this openness that Games Workshop now have, that they're actually going and supporting key events, but probably more importantly than that, engaging directly with their community.
That's what I was thinking. The big flavour I got from it was it feels like they're reaching out to the community to actually say, you know what, we love these games, you love these games, let's talk about these games.
Well, Don sat down with them. Let's have a quick watch of that, and then we've got some more points to make on that once you've seen it.
Hey everybody, so we have a very nice treat for us here. We are so pleased to be joined by Andy Smiley from GW. And what an Adepticon this has been.
It's been great.
How's the show been for you guys?
It's been really, really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as a whole, from what I'm hearing from everybody, they are just so excited to have GW here and kind of reinvigorated and engaged with everybody. Been good fun over in the Warhammer Hall there. Yeah, no, it's been really.
Yeah, we love this show. It's we think it's one of the best shows in the US, and we've been coming here for years now. Normally 2 or 3 of us, but 11 of us came out this year.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot.
So everyone's having a great time, and the guys running the Warhammer TV and the stream, they've been having a blast, and I think everyone's really been enjoying being on the TV. And
yeah, we've had a couple of really nice comments actually from fans that are like totally geeking out, going, "We got our pictures taken with the Warhammer TV guys." Yeah, so I mean, it's like the whole thing has just been really fun for everybody.
Duncan is being selfie attacked
every opportunity. Sadly, I'm guilty. Yeah. I totally did it while we were in line at Starbucks earlier. Like, you probably asked 100 million times, but can I have a picture? So, but we left it at that. I didn't get too weird or anything, so that's good. Yeah. So have you had a chance to talk to any of the guys that played in any of the tournaments? How has that been for them?
Yeah, so I had a chat with a bunch of the Age of Sigmar crew last night. Mm-hmm. And they all seemed to be having a blast. They were really enjoying the scenarios and their opponents, and getting lots of different people to play. And Adepticon's pretty cool. There's lots of awards for people.
There is. I think they do a really great job. There's something to be said. You don't want to go to the extreme where everybody gets something for for playing. But I really like the different categories that they do, because it goes way beyond who finishes first.
Sure, yeah, they've got best in faction, best sport, overall winner. They've got lots of different stuff. Putting
the nicest work into painting up your armies. I mean, so you could essentially lose and still be a winner in that. Sure. Yeah, so it's good fun. It's good fun. So let's talk about that studio preview. It was wonderful.
Oh,
I thought the crowd was just very excited. I love what you guys brought to it. So you're totally re-engaging the community. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, they just pick up on the Wednesday night. It was great for us as well. I think one of the great things about not only the Adepticon crowd, but the US crowd in general is that everyone over here is super nice and super enthusiastic. It's great being in amongst that. It's really reinvigorating and energizing.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that was part of the reason that during that studio preview, it was we really wanted to do something that was like a thanks to the community for supporting Adepticon and supporting Games Workshop and coming to this event every year. And so we really wanted to take an opportunity to show them something that wasn't going to come out for 9 months and let them play some stuff and show them some videos. And
that was amazing. I think that was my absolute favorite part of that preview. I think I actually equated it earlier as a Disney World moment. And that, we were in the room, and it was like being at the Haunted Mansion, when it's like you're in this closed space and all of a sudden the doors open and you get to go do something else. And it was like, what? We get to play a game? What? So yeah, Shadespire.
Yep.
I think I'm hooked. I think I'm totally hooked. That game is so much fun. I think everybody really felt like it too. It was very easy to pick up and get into. Really good things.
Yeah,
really
we had a lot of good feedback about Shadespire.
Yeah, that's good.
And a lot of people that I think are more engaged with Age of Sigmar now as well. And,
yes,
looking
definitely.
forward to that. So.
Yeah. And I think people have really kind of embraced the direction that it's going, and we have a very nice event out right by where we live, actually, that has really done a great job with exploring the narrative of it. And they've done 2 different kinds of tournaments for singles and then a team-based. And I think they have every bit as much fun telling the stories that they create within Age of Sigmar, versus, and the game part, is always fun too, but I think it's that whole narrative that everybody's getting to explore.
I think that's why people stay with with the games so long. You know, Warhammer 40,000 and Age of Sigmar. They've got some depth of IP and some kind of classic imagery and stuff there that the guys, particularly here at Adepticon, when you look at a lot of the side events and like the Horus Heresy event. And the games that run, crazy long into the night, where the guys make some.
It's hardcore. They've got some crazy.
I think the narrative drives a lot of interaction.
It definitely does, and I think you hit it right on the head, because if you look through the guidebook at all of the different games and the different ways people are playing it, there's something like from every time period, that the game has been out there, and there's people that are still deeply passionate about playing their game that way. So I think bringing that back to your tie into the community, with the way the community page is like really opening up more towards comments from people and letting people really talk and engage you guys, even through the community page, which is awesome. So if there's, if they're really missing an element of a game that they really still like to play, they can bring it to you guys, and this is where ideas come from, right?
Yeah, we organised a meeting last night with lots of people from across the Age of Sigmar community, so people that are active on Twitter, run a club, maybe they're the champion down at their local store, or they've got a podcast, or they run an event, whatever it is, people who are out there trying to push the Age of Sigmar community forward and are really engaging with it. We got all those guys together, and we had a couple of hours with them, and some pizza and some beer, and asked them exactly that. What more would you like to see? What can we do to help you guys in your local area? And they had some great suggestions, and I think as much as we've done over the last year, 18 months to really engage the community, I think that's just the start. And that was the sentiment that I wanted to get across on Wednesday night, that we've got a lot more planned and a lot more ways that we want to engage and include people and push that forward.
One of the other things I absolutely loved was that you guys took the War Scroll, from a community member and said, we've acknowledged the fact that you guys love this. It's a really great tool. We want to help you make this an even better tool. I think that was just, it was like, wow, okay, so this is somebody that's not from within the company that you're going, we love this and let's make this work. So
yeah, Tony, the guy that codes War Scroll, he's a really nice guy.
He was so humble when you guys pulled him up. He was so cute.
He's a great hobbyist, paints loads, he games a lot. He's really passionate about Age of Sigmar and enabling other people to play it. That just seemed like the right thing to do, to work together with this great tool that he's developed. Definitely.
Well, we are just very excited to have you guys back. I know you said you've been coming to Adepticon regularly since, but it's been a great experience having such a big team of people back here at the show, and I think you've really reignited a spark, in the gaming community, and we look forward to a lot more from you guys. We're going to be following that community page very closely. Great. And hopefully we'll get to talk more regularly too. And if there's questions and things, you guys need to let us know, and we will see what we can do about getting answers to things for you guys.
That'll be great.
We really appreciate you giving us time, Andy.
No, thanks for having me on, and thanks for tuning in.
You bet.
So that was Don and Andy Smiley. Andy's a bit of a butch-looking guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
So,
He's got the
you
power.
can join my Viking war band, Andy, anytime. So after that, we have reached out to Workshop, and we've been talking to them. We have a contact in there. They've been expanding the community team. They're very, very serious about this, engaging with the community, and you can gradually see, because to begin with, we'd seen them starting to create video content and stuff like that, and it's been great. But what has been really good, actually, is we've seen that they're gradually increasing in the channels and stuff through which they are engaging with people, and they've been hiring new people and stuff like that into position. And in fact, the contact that we have been speaking with just this last couple of weeks turned out to be very surprising, in a really, really good way, because he was the guy who, believe it or not, took us, Beasts of War, through what was practically our first game in a long number of years, our first game of Warhammer 40k. So whenever we got into this whole Beasts of War thing, we reached out to Games Workshop and said we're going to be doing this and that.
Are we allowed to talk about throwing dice?
Well, we'll tell the joke in a minute. So, and they sent a fabulous guy, and he's actually from here in Northern Ireland. He drove all the way down to see us. And lo and behold, he brought with him a gaming table and 2 armies.
Right.
And he said, you know, if you really want to get into this, this is how we do it. And when we set up in our old studio.
He was serious about a return to the hobby. You want to get back into the hobby, fellas? I'm going to kickstart you back.
And he totally did. And, you know, we wound him up at one point because he set up, and he had lovely ultramarines and dark Eldar.
Was this like proper miniature store painted stuff?
Well, they were his own
stuff.
It was his stuff.
Oh, right.
You know,
So he went to town on them.
and they were lovely. Like, they were really, really nice. And he set them all up, and we had it all laid out. And we had some terrain and stuff. And one of our team, there were 3 of us in there, lifted the dice. Said, "Right, so how do I play this? Do I throw these dice, and whatever I hit, I kill?"
It was me, because I'd seen how he was like totally into it. And I was like, I know a way of winding him up. So it's whatever I hit, it's dead, yeah.
I'm
assuming that's what your reaction. No.
No. His reaction was much cooler than that. His reaction was, no.
At which point I was like, no.
But he turned. You know, it's he just. I've kind of followed his career a bit after that, and he's just so community focused, and because he'd been doing things for the community, like this is back in 2008. We're talking about nearly 10 years ago. We met this chap, and you know, he's constantly done things, you know, and engaged with the community. He's also worked in various other areas of workshops. So you know, at this stage, he's, I would say, one of the core, most experienced people in the place. So whenever we found out, we were told by Andy Smiley, "You have a new guy coming on board."
A new guy? He's been kicking around Games Workshop for years.
A new guy coming on board, and he'll be in touch. And then dropped this email saying, "Oh, hello again." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, this guy, yeah." So he is that good. He is that good. So I'm really pleased to see that, and always nice to see someone of Northern Irish represented. So it's
if he comes up, I'm going to lift some dice and go, "Well, do I chuck him?"
Yeah, but it's part and parcel of where they seem to be headed. All of this boils down to one very, very simple thing: no company that makes products as good as they do should ever be concerned about engaging with the public through whatever channels.
This is it. It's finally a nice U-turn going to, because imagine taking your channels and shutting them all. This is nice to see them just, no, let's reverse that. Let's change gear and go back a bit and take a different path here.
And it's no longer going back. They're now just forging forward, because they're like way beyond anything that they had ever done before. You know, what they're doing on Warhammer TV is fabulous. The team there are really starting to gel, and I've been enjoying watching aspects of what they've been doing there. Obviously, there is the legendary Duncan.
Yeah, Dom was going on about getting photos. I'd be like, "Yay, Duncan!
Yeah.
Get the case. We're gonna shove him in the case.
We're gonna bring him back here, Duncan. We will have you, Duncan." So anyway, they have been in touch. We're talking to them. Obviously, you know, it goes without saying, you know, the relationship between many of the media outlets, ourselves included, with Games Workshop, is going to take some time to kind of find its feet. You know, there's history there. You know, not only with us, but there's history with you know, numerous outlets and stuff like that there. You know, but every day's a new day. Every day's a new day. I'm really excited. I'm really interested, because how cool will it be to be able to reach out and reach in to Games Workshop to talk about new releases, to talk about things that they're doing, because they do seem very open to talk about it. Like, even recently, they were posting stuff about how 40K is likely to change from a rules perspective. You know, and you could see what they had learned from Age of Sigmar and stuff like that. You know,
I'm really looking forward to that.
In. Oh, me too.
I think a nice big change to the rules for 40K wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting. Myself and AJ are planning to get together shortly and film some 40k charted, just looking at the rules changes and things.
But
like
do you think that can happen without them? You know the way Age of Sigmar really changed the whole sort of universe that it was in a bit?
It's not going to change the universe.
So it's going to be a rules change without doing something drastic
They're
to the actual
going
world.
to take what the better, more streamlined mechanics. I don't want to try and nutshell it, because I don't think it does justice to what the game design team in there have been doing to try and nutshell it. But if I were going to, they're going to be taking some of the elegant game design that they have been working on within Age of Sigmar, and they're going to bring it to 40k. Okay. Now, what we have seen with Age of Sigmar is, although that the core rules themselves are very simple, the flavor ends up in the war scrolls. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of flavor, not only from special rules, but the synergies between the special rules of different units has added a ton of flavor. But it's more manageable because you have these very simple core rules, and then everything else you need is there on what is their equivalent of a stat card, a war scroll. If we could start to see something similar to like that come into 40k, I think that'll make for some really interesting gaming, because unfortunately, as it stands, 40k is both complex in its core rules and complex in its special rules. It needs some streamlining there, and I think that they have found a way of doing that without actually oversimplifying the game, which I think would be a massive mistake for 40k as well. It doesn't need to be oversimplified. Anyway, so what you're looking at is a company that is really engaging with its core community, engaging with events. They're going to have a huge stand at UK Games Expo, so I'm looking forward to meeting them at that and getting a conversation, a proper face-to-face. And we have exciting stuff on the way. I haven't been able to extract any information on a plastic Thunderhawk. They could be trolling. They could be trolling, but I highly doubt it. I am fully expecting something like that, because they're the one company who's totally capable of it. So I think there's a load of exciting stuff on the way, and it's been great to see the really positive attitude that they've been building up over these last few months, and hopefully long may it continue.
Now, I'm curious for UK Games Expo, because at Adepticon they did a bit of a drop for all the community and stuff that were there. I wonder if they're going to do the same whenever they had the expo, if there might be something in the wings.
I don't know. Expo is a very different kind of a thing, because remember, Adepticon is all basically Games Workshop fans. Adepticon was the big Games Workshop. I know that there's other games and all represented there, but that was the big Games Workshop thing.
To see what happens.
UK Games Expo is not like that. UK Games Expo is a much wider audience, so it's more of your kind of a Gen Con than an Adepticon. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah, well, you can see it in the interview. Andy's gone on about, we've been coming to Adepticon for years.
Yes. Anyway, so that is your lot. I will leave you guys to it. And
just before you do go, you mentioned a prize. We do have
we have a prize this week. Yeah, the guys will be showing it off later in the show on how to win it. But we have a Faith Sci-Fi RPG character set from Burning Games, which is up for grabs.
Yeah, so watch out for later in the show. But we're going to lose you and get stuck into some news. Back in a minute.
It's time for 28mm World War II action. Will you recreate history or reshape it your way? On the Bolt Action Hub at beastsofwar.com. Anime cyberpunk style meets skirmish combat in Infinity. Experience 8 high-tech factions and fight to control the human sphere at the Infinity Hub on beastsofwar.com.
Okay, nice one to drop in for that.
Yep.
But it's time to press on with the news.
Yes, so Ben.
Get Mr. Cool Ben to tell us what's been going on.
So we're kicking things off with some more stuff that came out of Fantasy Flight Games, all about Rune Wars. Now, we've got the first two armies that are part of the core box, so you've got the Deccan and the Waikar, but also they're going to be releasing 2 more armies throughout the rest of this year. The first one of these is going to be coming out in sort of Q3 of this year, and it's the Latari Elves. Ooh. Now, these are the guys that were sort of detailed in the lore book a little bit, but now they're going to get their full-on army box when this comes out later in the year. It starts off with Alania Summersong, who's leading the way, so fantastic to see another sort of female leader in charge of the army, which is pretty awesome. We had Kari Windstalker from the human side in the first one, which is pretty awesome. Very, very cool. Her abilities are actually also pretty epic in that they sort of allow you to redeploy your units on the battlefield, so you can set up and stuff, and then see where the enemy place their units, and then sort of switch it around and then do them in a different place. Well, sorry, yes, I'm good. I think I'm starting to sort of go a bit crazy, but it's all fine. It's all fine.
Carry on. You can do it.
Yeah, they're followed on by the Leon Ox Riders, who are sort of a really cool addition to this range too. They are the first set of miniatures for the whole of Rune Wars that are going to have their own specific surges built into them. So they'll have particular abilities that are tied into their surge rather than just the common ones that we've seen in the original core box. As well as that, you've also got Deepwood Archers.
Are these like panther things?
No, those are very pissed off mountain lions.
Yeah, they're like mountain lion, sort of lionish type looking things. They're very, very cool. Like wildcats, I guess you'd say, which is pretty epic. Yeah, it's interesting to see them do something like that rather than sort of something a little bit more naturey, like a stag or something. So it's good to see them go to like the wildcat thing. That's pretty cool. But yes, they're also joined by the Deepwood Archers that are also sort of detailed in this preview. They have a really cool ability to use their shifts and their sort of high initiative to get out of the way of charges, allowing them to sort of dodge to the side and fire their arrows, and their ability to shift out of combat without taking panic tokens and stuff like that, which is very, very cool.
I love all the layers that they're introducing onto these models. One of the things I liked when I was painting on my Skelly Archers was just like there's a belt here and there's a bag here, but everything's quite exaggerated, which from my point of view is like, oh, this is really easy to paint because I can just follow the exaggerated curves.
Yeah.
So you're not saying, I must follow this 2 middle line.
It's maybe not for everybody that style, but from a distance I'm looking at going, that looks pretty funky. I like that a lot.
You see, this is something I've talked to some sculptors before about, is that whenever you're sculpting in like 28mm and stuff, there are certain details that you do need to over-exaggerate just so that it's seen on the miniature. So things like the old 2000s style of sculpting, bigger hands, bigger heads, bigger belt buckles, things like that. So that actually jumps out of the miniature.
And things you cut off with snippers.
I've been learning things. Oh yes, of course. Cut those off.
Yeah, I think it works in this as well because each of the models feels like they've got their own nice character to them as well, even when it comes down to the troops and things. So it's nice to see them sort of go that extra level of heroic to the stuff you're seeing on the tabletop. The final piece as well for the Latari Elves is their Anahilim Scion, which is their sort of big guy. Obviously we had the Rune Golem and the Carrion Lancer for the other forces. This is their sort of tree, their take on a tree man, effectively.
I like the fact that he doesn't have
really
a face.
Cool. Yes, yeah, it's very, very awesome. Yeah, I love this guy. I think I might actually have to end up picking up the Latari Elves and sort of adding them into sort of the collections and stuff, because obviously Kari Windstalker has an ability allowing you to take at least one unit of Latari Elves into your army, so maybe that would be a good excuse to sort of mix the two together, I think.
Now that's a miniature that some clever sod could, if they could work an LED into that face.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Lit up.
Yeah, you could do that.
That'd be really cool.
You could do that. I don't know, it looks very slouchy. I imagine this thing just moving very slowly across the battlefield, swinging those big arms.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
It's cool.
I think some day glow paints might be really good for that.
Yeah.
For the green.
Really? Yeah. Although it's nice to see they've actually got like fungi and stuff growing in around it.
The mushroom.
Well, I think that sort of all ties into some of his abilities on the tabletop. So he's able to stun and sort of poison units as well. So he's basically debuffing
Nice.
things on the tabletop.
So the army comes up and they're like, all spaced out. Where are
Yes.
you? Trying to dab you. There's 4 of you, for goodness sakes.
Damn you, trees, stay still! Damn you, how many of them are you? Stop wiggling! Damn you and your sexy looks! Damn you, trees to death!
Hey, 1 in 4 chance, not bad. I'll take those odds.
What a fun chance. Yeah, it's sweet. And people like this. And they also like the idea that they're releasing the templates and the rules and stuff separately, so you can buy this force and then buy the templates and things.
Yeah.
So if it's not one of the forces in the starter box, you're not tied to the starter box.
Yeah, the idea is that if you've got a gaming group that's already been picking up the core box and they're starting to build up their armies, you could just go out and grab the Latari Elf set, pick up the Essentials pack, and you'd have all the bits and pieces that came effectively within the core box, and then just join in and get playing and just learn from your mates and stuff. So yeah, it's a good idea. So.
Well, it's nice that you can keep up with everybody else. You're not picking up the thing and going, do I have friends that have this core box?
I do, he's there.
Yeah, good luck getting the game on.
We're going to put up webcams and then
unless you're going to play augmented reality gaming, yeah, not going to happen.
You're going to bring in Rune Wars with you next time you're over, Ben?
Yeah, it would be pretty awesome to get some games in the stuff. I've nearly finished everything.
Because I'm working away on my stuff. Might talk about it on Hobby. maybe not so much. Might. Stay tuned.
We'll
find out.
Yeah, find out tomorrow.
Will I or won't I talk about Skellies again?
Or will it be Saga?
Who knows? Who knows? Next up, Ben.
Next up, we've got some stuff from Steamforged Games, and obviously we mentioned that Salute is going to be next weekend. They're going to be over there with a whole bunch of their new releases. One of their big ones is the absolutely amazing-looking Locus for the Engineers Guild. Now, I like this miniature not because I don't play Guild Ball or anything, but I love Warforged from D&D and Eberron and things. So I'm really, really tempted to try and pick this guy up, do a bit of converting, give him a sword and shield, and turn him into my own Warforged character for Dungeons and Dragons. I thought it would be pretty awesome. But yes, as well as that, they're also going to have some really cool special releases as well. So you'll be able to get a young Theron model. There's the Easter Fangtooth, which just makes a lot of funny sense. It's fantastic. And there's also Rage too. As well as that, they do a whole bunch of extra bits and pieces, so you'll be able to pick up mugs, badges, and pins, and all these kind of things that sort of suit your team. So if you're a Butchers fan, you can go pick up all the Butchers like paraphernalia as well, and have it to support as you're playing your games and things.
Sweet.
Yeah, I will admit, I may have to pick up a few bits from the Steamforged stand whenever we're at Salute.
Well, that would be cool because you can arrive back with it all and start painting away. Well, everyone gets intrigued with Guild Ball because it'll be the Guild Ball themed week. Shortly after you get back.
I actually already did paint up a Guild Ball Force. I showed it off on an XLBS a few weeks back. I painted up the Brewers from the kickoff set. Fantastic set.
Yeah. And it was a nice job too. You're missing out if you're not coming over to backstage. You miss out on all the hobby stuff.
Well, it's where we show our hobby stuff, what we've been working on in our own personal stuff. But what I really want to do is I want to pick up one of the new starter sets that the guys have came out with, because they've actually redone the starter sets for all their factions, I think, now.
Oh, okay.
So normally the old starter faction, it was 3 minis and that was your starter team. Now the new sets are 6 minis. Now, yes, you're paying a little bit more for it, but honestly it's worth it because it gets you up and playing the full game a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So I may have to have a look because I kind of fell in love with the Fisherman.
I will point out that I think the new sort of repackaged start sets, they're still going to be in the metal material, I think, just in case anyone was thinking about what they're going to be doing with their sort of materials going forward, because I know they talked about plastics and things, but I know that a lot of the stuff they're looking at already for the existing teams is going to still be in metal, so just be aware of that anyway. But
yeah, although I may have a look at the Farmers Guild as well, because that's the new kids on the block.
yeah.
It just doesn't sound very exciting though. The Farmers Guild.
Oh no, hang on. It's so much fun because every single team has
not the game. I'm just saying the Farmers Guild.
Yeah, but the farmers' abilities are tuned into the fact that they are farmers, so they play those kind of shenanigans that farmers would on the Guild Ball pitch.
I'm going to thrash you.
Yeah, I've got a pitchfork. Run. That's what I want from a team. I have big pitchfork. You run.
Fair enough. Exciting stuff. What's up next, Ben?
So next up is some new things for the Plascraft Colour Ed range. Now, obviously, they've been working with Weird and for a whole bunch of Malifaux stuff in the past, but this is their new set that's coming out very, very soon. Now, this is almost for like a little bit of a spooky ghost town effect that's going on here. So they've designed this fantastic-looking wall structure that you see there with the towers and things attached to it, as well as a whole bunch of different ruined buildings too. Now, all of these are going to be made using their sort of patented style with the sort of foam and things like that, but there's also going to be all the additional bits of sort of MDF that come with it, will allow you to do sort of boarded up windows and sort of makeshift fences and guardrails and things like that too. Absolutely amazing detailed stuff. As I mentioned before, this is all from their Colour Ed range, so this means that it's all basically ready to go. You just have to assemble it and sort of maybe do a little bit of hobbying, sort out the edges so that they don't look so stark and things compared to the rest of the details and things. But other than that, it's pretty much good to go and get your games in Malifaux in effectively.
Yeah, I like what they've been doing with this range, but this particular one,
I quite like this.
I do like it, but I like it from the outside. The problem with this stuff is I don't like it from the inside, because once you go to the inside of the buildings, they're just blank, which is the downside. But from the outside, it looks class when you peer across the across the gaming table. This looks class.
Looks great, but I do see what you mean. Looking like right here, I can see behind where there's.
If you cut to some of the other, if you can bring up some of the other destroyed buildings, that's really my only gripe. There is when you get to the inside, it turns white. But you get out your paintbrush and you do hobby that in. Because what I'd do is I'd basically just sponge it and stipple it. And I'd give them if you mix some grey paint up with some sand, for example, you build the outside, looks class, then just stipple the inside, So it's not white anymore, and then stipple along the edges, because when we were building foam core terrain and stuff in here, that's what we did. And it's surprisingly good.
Yeah, that was the birth of Mantic Mix, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's surprisingly good the way it just ties the building together and go, oh, that's much better. So if you're interested in that set, that would be a suggestion that I'd throw out there, because it looks cool. That's my only drawback, really, with the stuff at the moment.
Again, with us heading to Salute very soon, it's another one of those companies that I want to stop off with and actually have a chat with them about the terrain set. You know, maybe actually get it in my hands and get a look at it to form a better opinion of it. Because we can look at pictures to death, but once the thing's in your hand, that's when you get the real sense of it, and you'll find out if your ideas for actually taking it that little bit further are actually going to work.
It's one of the interesting things I think is coming out at the moment now in the industry, where we're getting a lot more of these very easy to build and quick to get to the table terrain sets, because a lot of people just want to effectively, in the Army Painter style, just get more games in, really. But you know, we're looking at it in terms of terrain and stuff. So I just think that it's one of those things where, you know, you're going to have a few compromises here and there, but if you're going to get some good stuff that looks, you know, pretty awesome on the tabletop and didn't take you very long to do, it's pretty good to just get down and, you know, get gaming, really.
Which is the key point. I mean, you can buy that set, put it all together and just play.
Exactly.
And just get
and
going.
Like I said, when you glance across it, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
If you're over in Salute and the guys are there, if they have any sort of table set up, see if they've been doing anything on the interiors.
Well, you see, this is the one thing that I'm considering at the minute is, what are people going to want to see us covering at Salute? Because obviously we're going to be dropping in with all the old faces, but should we be dropping in and seeing all the gaming tables as well, see what sort of participation games are on the go to boot? You know, I mean, we only have one day to cover it, so we kind of have to be selective as to who and what we pick up. But if you guys could drop in some suggestions below as to who you want us to actually stop up with, I can't make promises that we will, but at least give us an idea of where we want to go.
Yeah, I like the gaming tables myself. But I understand you're the 3-man team. You're thinking, Salute's a big show for one day for a 3-man team.
It gets bigger every year.
Plus Peachy.
Yes, but
Peachy's going to be doing the whole painting.
He's going to be razor focused in on that painting contest to see who's going to be bringing the best painted stuff to Salute. Same as what he did last year. So you know, I don't want to drag him away saying, no, you're going to film stuff with us. You're going to film stuff with us. You're going to interview this person. No, that's what me, Ben, and Lance are going to be taking care of.
Well, if you have a point of view, drop it below in the comments.
If you have a point of interest at Salute, drop it in the comments.
Moving on, we've got Crits and Kador stuff coming up.
Yeah, so the month of April seems to be one that is all built around the ideas of Kador and Crix. Heading out there now, you should be able to pick it up from your local stores this week. We have some really cool stuff from Kador. So we've got the new Grey Lord Forge Seer, who I like to think is Santa Claus when he's not delivering presents. So this is basically Father Christmas when he's going out slaying monsters at the North Pole, because obviously there's going to be loads of creepy monsters at the North Pole, right? Yeah. He's also joined by Commander Alexei Malakov, and then possibly one of my favorite characters from Kador, which is Assault Commander Strakov. I absolutely love this guy. What I really like about this particular model in this set is that it's also it's taking that narrative from War Machine and it's moving it on through the models. So you see Strakov here, who looks a little bit more sort of down and dirty. He's lost an eye. He's got the eye patch on and stuff, which is very, very cool. Yeah, but yeah, it's awesome to see some more stuff for Kador. Maybe John's going to pick up some of these bits and pieces up into his force potentially.
Kador done got some special forces there.
Well, got some special forces, but even this, Malakov, he was the character journeyman warcaster, so it's nice to see that those haven't been forgotten about. They are being allowed to move on and actually become full warcasters. We actually got these miniatures in the studio recently, so I may be seeing about getting those unboxed very soon.
That'd be cool. What about Santa, though? I like this idea of Santa during his when he's off for 99.9999% of the year. He just kicks ass royally.
Yeah. That's the way I see this anyway, man.
We see the Grey Lords are sort of base magic users within the Kador forces.
Yeah.
So this is basically an up-armored one of these guys. You see that they actually do this a lot with the different forces. So if you look at the Mana War and the battle mechanics, you'll have your regular Mana War, they're in this style of armor, but then you'll have their leader who's in like a pumped-up version of this armor. Same for the battle mechanics. Battle mechanics, just regular Kadoran guys run about with a wrench. Big battle mechanic, who's their leader, run around in Man of War armor with a bigger wrench.
He looks like a lot of fun to paint, that guy.
He could be. He really could be.
Moving on. Last bit of news for today.
No, there's more to show here.
Oh, we've Crits.
Cricks. Don't forget about the Cricks, because if you forget about the Cricks, they will sneak into your bedroom at night and murder you. This is what Cricks does.
That's me told.
Yeah, so for Crix, this stuff's going to be coming out towards the end of April, so April 26th, if you want to mark it in your diaries. If people have diaries anymore, but there you go. And this is Captain
They do,
I.A.
Ben.
Koss.
They do.
They do? Yeah?
Anna gets pestered by people going in the shop. She works in something like a news agent's.
Yeah.
And people always pester her about diaries.
Well, there you go.
And they do it at like 3 months after Christmas because they think they'll get it cheap, when in actual
Yeah.
fact all the diaries have been returned to the manufacturers, and then they get all aggro. Why do you have no diaries? It's 2017. Why are there no diaries?
Because you're meant to buy them in 2016 and have it sitting waiting.
No, because like Ben says, who the heck needs diaries? We've got phones.
Actually, fair point.
What were we talking about? Ben, go back to what you were talking about.
Yeah, so the sort of the releases for the end of April are going to be led by Captain Iacos there. We'd seen this guy, I think it was maybe a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so, when we were looking at some of the renders and things that had came out. But this is effectively a little bit of a Crixian pirate, which is pretty awesome. Everybody loves a bit of a pirate. That guy's looking absolutely epic in his painted version there. It's also joined by more Tenebra, who's had a little bit of an upgrade and stuff, sort of stuck into a mechanical body there. Absolutely love the pose of this
Wow,
one, which is
that's
sort
cool.
of raising up, ready to stab down at somebody below them. Very, very cool. And then finishing things off, we have the name of a warjack that I can't pronounce, but I'm going to try it anyway. And it's Charybdis,
Charybdis.
maybe?
Charybdis.
Charybdis. There you go. We'll go with that.
Charybdis, as in
Yeah.
the ancient Greek Charybdis.
Ah, well, there you go.
Did you not
Well done.
listen to Mythic Battles while those guys were here? It's the same name.
Oh, you have now taught me something that I did not know, Justin.
You done got told as well.
I got told, man. I got told.
Hang on. Now that I've turned 31, am I just becoming a grumpy old man? I mean, look at the beard. It's getting so grey right now. So grey.
Well, we were in the pub like a few weeks back for the boot camp,
Yeah?
and you ordered me to go and get your coat.
I was drunk that night with
Coat,
good reason.
Lloyd, coat, now.
I was very drunk
And
that
I
night.
went, what? Oh yeah, coat now, please, boss.
I was... Alright, this is something I always warn people. Whenever you come to a boot camp, on the shows we're, a little bit toned down. I know you find that hard to imagine, but once you're here...
People don't think I'm toned down. Believe me, they don't.
Once you're here, it's Beasts of War live and uncensored. So hilarity ensues, and yeah, what happens at the boot camp stays at the boot camp.
Apart from that one nugget. Right, moving on. We've got some foreground stuff.
But sorry, just on that warjack for a second, because this sort of ties into what's happening with Crix. This was actually a jack that was supposedly lost in a sunken ship, but it was actually rescued by Captain Iacos that we saw at the beginning of this little segment on Crix. So yeah, it's got a little bit of a character thing, sort of mixing it together with this guy. So.
My favourite of those was the big mantis-y looking crawly thing. That was amazing looking. Let's have another look at that. It deserves another look. Look at that. That looks class. Oh man, I could sit rightly and paint that. I think it'd be one of those models just entertaining to sit paint away at.
For me, it has to be Strakov. It's nice to see him actually get an epic Warcaster
Strakov,
form,
yeah.
because before this he was just you had Strakov 1, and I think that was it. I don't think there was a second version of him until now. Now he's a Warcaster unit.
Fair enough.
Very cool.
Yeah. Right, Ben, the foreground stuff.
Yes, so the guys at Foreground sort of sent in a few awesome 3D prints of what's been going on for Fabled Realms. And these are the first miniatures that have come out of their factory and stuff, showing off some of the members of the Eightfold Path Warband that you'll be getting to play with. I think they're looking pretty awesome. It's great to see that a lot of the stuff from the renders and a lot of the detail is carried over into the sculpts. Looking very, very good there in that little splash of orange that you see. When it comes to Salute, which is next week, obviously, they are also going to be bringing along a whole bunch of their pre-production resin miniatures as well. So you'll be able to check those out. And they're also going to be demoing the game at Salute too. If you want to find out information about the actual sort of where they're set up, where the demo table are, it's in the news story there, which will be linked in the description below as well. So yeah.
It's looking really cool. The process of going from render to models seems to be going really well there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What are those? These are the 3D printed prototypes, or what are we looking at?
Yeah, these are 3D printed prototypes we're seeing here. I mean, like, whenever we had the Foreground guys across, we were actually talking about these, looking at the 3D renders.
Yeah.
Seeing them actually come out in miniature form so close to what those were.
This guy's looking really cool, those little what am I saying?
Vials.
Vials, that's the word I'm trying to get.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, don't forget the backstory, because if I remember what the guys told me correctly, this guy goes around the battlefield and is collecting the Dragul blood, because the Eightfold Path use it to actually test new members to become White Cloaks, which is their upper echelon of command. So this guy, he goes around collecting it and basically making sure that even if you have a battlefield promotion, you actually get a bit of Dragul blood in your mouth, get the virus and actually live through it, don't become a Dragul, that you actually get to have your proper rank.
I love all the nooks and crannies, because for someone like me who depends on washes a lot, That's going to be sweet.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were talking about the chainmail whenever they were here, and it has actually came out brilliantly for the way they've done it, because they actually oversized the chainmail in the 3D renders, so that whenever they actually got it printed and cast, it would actually come out to the right scale.
Yeah, because there's a reduction
The
thing.
shrinkage, yes.
If you want to know more about that, go and watch the interviews.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yes. Honestly, I love it. Although the little halfling mage is really cool looking. So he's a little spellcaster just going, you want me to do it again?
My little angry dude is going to show you the ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but no, fantastic stuff from Foreground. Again, another one we definitely have to look in with. I actually have played the Legends of Fabled Realms with the guys. Fantastic system. If you're going to Salute, well worth stopping off and actually getting a demo game with the guys. I will say, be prepared to be bombarded with the backstory, because it is quite hefty.
But you definitely want to go to the Foreground booth, because they have great tables set up every year.
Oh,
It'll be
yeah.
interesting to see what they've set up for the Fabled Realms and said, well, that's this part of it and that's that part of it.
Oh, you've
Wonder
got
if they're going to do
Mordenberg,
stuff like that.
Teudenberg, the ruins of Daldor. Teudenberg's actually sort of a mix between Daldor and Mordenberg, where they're actually starting to recolonize the poisoned lands, which are now no longer being poisoned. So you've got sort of the stonework with that sort of Tudor building designing.
Fair enough.
I know way too much stuff.
Yeah. Right. You've got me thinking about Salute now.
Yeah, you're not going.
Oh, damn it. I'm going to miss out on all the models that I never have time to buy. But there's always that one that you pick up and go, finally I have you.
Well, you see, this is the thing. Everybody at Salute has those places where they really, really want to stop. For me, I don't know what it is. Every year I go past the Freebirders Fate stand and I pick up one miniature just to paint.
Oh, tell you what,
Every time.
if you see any of that Mauser Earth stuff appear in
Mauser
Salute,
Earth?
let me know.
All right.
Just out of curiosity, might turn up.
Aye.
Someone might be carrying some of those things.
We'll see.
You can phone me and go, Lloyd, I've got your resin crack for you. This is the one you want.
Hey, you want some of that Mauser Earth?
And then I'll be like, who's that? It's just Dustin trying to sell me stuff. Shh. What color is it?
Right, send it to my PayPal. No one will know. No, I will keep an eye out for you. I will.
Damn you, Justin.
What? I'm an enabler.
And if you see Warbase's stuff
I'm an enabler.
If you see the Warbase's stuff, let me know.
War bases?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I might be interested in stuff like that. I'll be ringing you up going, Justin, take photos. Email them to me. Oh, that's amazing. I want that. And
That
you'd be
just sounds so seedy. Justin, take photos. Send them to me.
like, oh, that's amazing.
What the hell?
Right.
Where does this show win?
Moving on, we're going to take a swish or a break. Talk about some hubs, and then we're going to be back to talk about Terrain Crate. Oh no, we have an interview.
Yeah.
Who are we with?
Basically, Rob from Mantic Games came across because there are a couple of things coming up from the guys at Mantic that they really wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
First one is called Terrain Crate. It's a Kickstarter that's coming soon, but I will let Rob explain it to you guys after some hubs.
Fight for the Iron Kingdoms as a warcaster. Take control of the mighty jacks, arcane devices, and dark sorceries to bring the fight to the War Machine Hub on beastsofwar.com. Flames of War brings you the battles of World War II in epic 15mm scale. Go to the hub on beastsofwar.com to find news, tactics, and tutorials about the game.
Everybody, I've been joined by Rob from Mantic Games, and
Hey.
as you can probably see behind us, Terrain Crate. Rob, what is this?
So this-
what's going on?
this
I'm,
is
I'm
our-
suspicious.
Yeah, you no need to be suspicious. It's fine. So this is our new project that will be coming to Kickstarter shortly. So at Mantic, we're kind of known for great miniatures, affordable miniatures, and also some great games like Warpath, Kings of War, Walking Dead.
Yes.
And this is actually something a little bit different. Normally we go to Kickstarter with games. This is actually to fund a range of brand new scenery and terrain
I
for
see.
dungeons or battlefields or towns.
So all those little ancillary bits that bring your table to life.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So when we did Dungeon Saga in 2015,
Yeah. Seems like a long time ago now.
yeah, I mean, in the distant past, one of the most popular kind of parts of it was actually the scenery. So the whole idea for this in the game was to bring life to the Necromancer's dungeon.
Yes.
So you could have doors where you had to bash down, you could have tables.
Let me grab some here. I've got a close camera set up. So, like you said, you've got the doors.
Yep. And what we found is that actually, as well as being really useful for the game, it's been popular with a lot of people outside of Dungeon Saga as well. So we'll find a lot of role players have been picking this up and adding it to their dungeons when they're role playing, or kind of for general fantasy kind of games. And I think it's popular because it's plastic, you know, it's very affordable, you get a lot in the box. So this got Ronnie thinking, as is his wont.
Of course.
And he started thinking, well, wait a minute, why don't we do something where people can fill an entire town with this stuff, or a huge dungeon, you know, that could be the size of this table. And that's how Terrain Crate came about. And so what we want to do is we want to make lots and lots of different terrain, different themed terrain. So it'll be a wizard study, a library, a treasury, a torture dungeon. You know, there's so many kind of fantasy staples out there, particularly for dungeons, that we wanted to kind of make the scenery for. And then kind of expanding out, there's a chance to do battlefield terrain, which you might use in like a fantasy skirmish game, or you might use in a bigger fantasy war game like Kings of War.
Whenever you say this kind of stuff, are we talking like ancient ruins, elvish cities?
Yeah, that kind
like
of.
that?
So it'll be, for example, the battlefield one will be things like walls, hedges, barricades, carts, that kind of thing. Whereas the dungeon is more like your kind of wizard's bookcase, or a kind of a treasury where you've got some kind of, you know, mystical artifacts that you've got to find, so that people can then use these, you know, potentially in their games of Dungeon Saga, because obviously with the Adventurer's Companion you can create your own games, or they might just want to use them in a roleplay game. You imagine that, you know, you're a games master, tonight your adventuring party is about to enter a cave, what's in there, and the idea is that these will be in sets, so you'll pick up the wizard study set, you'll bring it with you that night, start popping it out and start popping it down on the table.
All right. Well, you've given me some images here for some examples.
Yeah.
So let me start calling them up, and you can just talk us through the ideas behind each one. Thank you. I'm going to say that right now. Thank you for making barrels, because these can be used anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah. So the idea behind the barrels is it's not individual barrels, which we've actually already done with the kind of Dungeon Saga one. This is a group of barrels, and I mean, it sounds daft, but the amount of uses for like a group of barrels is fantastic. You know,
I use them on every table I make.
Yeah, you could use them as a market stall.
Yep.
You know, you could use them as like blocking terrain in Kings of War or another kind of scheme. Yeah, exactly. So there's lots of different options. So some of them are really kind of useful, practical pieces like the barrels, and then we'll kind of get on some more fun things as well. And as you can see, they're pre-coloured, and the idea is, and they're pre-assembled plastic. Right. So you can get them straight out of the box, plonk them down, and they're ready to go, pretty much.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. I'm seeing some painted stuff coming up here. So what do we have here?
So here's an example of, although I'm saying it's pre-coloured, actually, if you want to paint it, you can get some really nice effects. So you've got a sword in the stone here. I actually wanted to do something a bit like the Master Sword.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't do that.
Well,
but
I like this. I like this.
And then you've got a pile of books. And again, it just kind of shows that if you do want to paint them, you can get a really nice effect and kind of really bring a lot of life to your dungeon or your kind of, you know, your cave, your mine. So there's a lot of different options if you want to kind of make something new.
Nice. It's that whole, it's the little details that always make stuff jump off the table at you. I mean, like I remember whenever I was playing D&D with my friends, our DM loved bringing in little ancillary extra bits. And it would find them from all over, you know. But having like the sword and the stone in the middle of the final boss room, where you have to kill the boss, get the sword, get out, and go on through your adventure. It's nice to have just that little visual representation to lift it off the table, because you could throw a little chit down that says sword on it. But if you have an actual sword, you're going to want it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and also we've tried to think of those iconic things, like the sword and the stone, like a kind of dragon's hoard of gold. There's a mine as well, with like mine carts, explosives, crystals, that kind of, so we've really tried to kind of think of, okay, outside of Dungeon Saga and outside of the stuff that we already do for Kings of War, what do people need in the wider games? Because, you know, this isn't set to our games. You know, this has got a multitude of uses in all kinds of different games.
Cool. All right. Next up, who do we have here? I should say, what do we have here? Not a who. I could say a who.
That's a good joke. That reminds me of a joke. I won't tell it. Well, no, I will do.
All right.
Why can't an owl find a girlfriend in the rain?
Why?
Too wet to woo.
Oh!
I'm here all week.
That's online forever now. You realise that?
It's one of my favourite jokes. Sorry.
Every time you go to an event...
Shall I leave?
No, you're fine to stay. We have more to talk about. But every time you go to an event now, someone's going to come up behind you and go, to it, to woo.
Yeah, well, I still think it's a good joke. But anyway, so, again, this is for the wizard study. You've got a lovely owl on a perch. And again, painting this up would be a real treat to get this in a dungeon. And again, you know, this is kind of like that Harry Potter feel, Hogwarts.
Yeah.
You know, every wizard should have an owl on a perch.
Of course.
And then, you know, although we've only got 3 sets at the start, if things go well, we could kind of maybe make an evil version of this with like a crow or a raven. So there are some options to do evil versions.
So what, the Hag's Hut or something?
Yeah, so like a Dark Lord's Chamber, that kind of thing. So
cool, very cool. Next up, I would assume this will go into either of them.
Yeah, so Summoning Circle. So if you're a good wizard, you'd use this to make some sandwiches maybe for your friends.
Yeah, summon up lunch.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Beats calling Dominoes.
Or if you're an evil wizard, you're going to be using this to make demons. So again, this would be a really kind of, you imagine there's a boss fight in the middle, there's this summoning circle, your kind of party goes in, what is it? You kind of explore, and again, something terrible could come out of it, something brilliant could come out of it. So we really want to kind of fire the imagination of people and what they're going to do in their games.
Well, I mean, like giving role players freedom is a good and a bad thing. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because giving them freedom to do whatever they want, they can create magnificent worlds. The one thing I hope I never see ever again in a D&D game, it happened to me, was party paralysis.
Right.
The party got so paranoid of the DM, they were rolling perception every 2 minutes.
Right.
Every time we went into a new corridor, perception roll. Don't trust you.
Analysis paralysis. Was that the one?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. Let's see, what else do we have here? Ooh, this is nice. I like the idea of having some treasure.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've got to have a dragon's hoard in a dungeon. And actually, this is pre-coloured gold.
Nice.
Yeah, so again, that idea that we wanted it to be ready straight from the box, so you can pull it out. So this is a smaller treasure pile. So, I mean, this is going to look great in a dungeon.
Yeah.
This is going to look, if you kind of go into that room.
If you have a few piles of these around, you could really fill it out.
Yeah,
back.
and
nice.
A treasury is one of the kind of themes as well. So you can create like a really cool room that's full of all these piles. And again, it's just something for people to explore, to find out what's in there. And yeah, you can really bring things to life in your games.
I just realised what had to be done, everybody at home. You probably won't get this joke, but recently, myself, Warren, and the team got turned into a comic strip. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
All right, do you remember the curse-free sword?
Yeah.
This needs to have a sign hanging off it saying curse-free sword. What do you think, guys? Yeah? Yeah. In fact, that's the thing. How do you guys actually go about deciding what areas of the dungeon you're going to be looking at?
That was a good question. So we actually went around pretty much everyone that works at Mantic and said to them, okay, because all, most of us are all gamers, so we all kind of know an idea of what we would like to see in the dungeon. And then we've gone, oh, well, you should have this in, or you should have that. Some of the suggestions were slightly ridiculous. One of my suggestions was optional poo for the wheelbarrow, which has made it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought I would have to check whether a poo was more like a cow pat or a horse poo. But yeah, that's the lengths we've gone to ensure accuracy in this game. So
in this range.
Sorry, in this range. Yeah. So so we've kind of gone through and asked people, what would you like to see? And there's some really, really cool ideas that they've come up with, and you'll see when the kind of Kickstarter launches that we've got some really standout pieces in there.
Well, speaking of standout pieces, this one really jumped out at me when I first saw it. The pile of armor.
Yeah.
How many times are you in a dungeon and you're hunting around and your DM says, "Oh, you find some armor."
Yeah.
Actually having your DM go, by the way, don't you find some armor, and seeing this cool little pile of different types of armors and stuff that you can grab from. Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is an example of how you can paint it up, and it looks fantastic. I cannot wait to see some of this actually on the table when people have got it all painted up, because it really is going to add a lot to your games. And I think that's the whole idea. We wanted to give people so many options, and actually when you see what you get in a crate, you're going to end up with dozens and dozens of pieces. So you can really kind of go to town when it comes to, well, literally go to town, because there is a town set, but you can kind of go to town on creating a dungeon or that battlefield as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, are you guys still taking suggestions? Because I am very tempted to actually have our community actually post their ideas below. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's do it. In fact, we can say that we're going to have some bigger resin pieces that'll be part of this. So, yeah. Okay, let's do it. So if one of the Beasts of War commenters comes up with a really good idea in the comments below, I assume it'll be below.
Yeah.
I'm getting down with the lingo here. So.
Yeah, well, let's say below on beastofwar.com, just so we can keep it all centralized. So if you're not a member, come across from YouTube and join us on beastofwar.com, find this post and put your comment in.
And suggest what you'd like to see, whether that's... I'm thinking of something like Doctor Strange when they have those books all chained up in the library. Yeah, something like that would be really cool.
So
and that's slightly bigger.
Tomes.
Yeah, so, you imagine, so you can't have that idea, that's my idea. But yeah, you kind of think of what you would like to see in a dungeon or a town. It could be slightly bigger, made in resin. And then, if that's cool, we're going to do it. And yeah, you'll get your piece made into part of Terrain Crate.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, my idea.
Okay.
Town gallows.
You can't win, by the way, Justin.
Oh.
Sorry.
Wait, hang on. What do you mean win? Are you doing this as a competition then?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Our community members get to make suggestions below for larger resin terrain pieces for the Terrain Crate Kickstarter.
Yep.
And if they win, what do they get?
They will get their piece made.
Okay.
And they will also win like one of the sets as well from the Kickstarter. So you could get the town set, the dungeon set, or the battlefield set.
Nice. Well, I'd like to put my idea out there anyway.
Okay.
Even if I can't win. I would like to see a town gallows with the stalks built on.
That's a good
that
idea.
could be very cool. That's my idea. You can't have that.
Okay, so that's two ideas. You can't have chained up books and town gallows. Yeah.
No, that's actually a really cool prize. Guys, make sure and get your comments in below. All right, now, last thing we have is actually just some of the scenes that you can create with the stuff that you currently have, I believe. This isn't the new stuff.
No, so this is some of the existing terrain again from Dungeon Saga, but again, it's kind of, you imagine this is what you can create on a much bigger scale. You know, you've got obviously, I mean, you imagine this one, I've already said there's a mine, but you've got kind of tracks running along this bit, you've got a mine cart. So yeah, it's kind of, this is, again, to fire the imagination, a tavern, but now you can add a bar, you can add kegs. You know, there's kind of bottles if you want to dot them around as well. So it's kind of, you know, we've already got an existing range, but it's kind of expanding on that infinitum almost.
I like it. I like the idea of this. I like the idea of, now, it's something I've realized recently is that it's the tiniest details about a thing that can make it come to life. So I will suggest to everybody, when you're coming up with your idea, you know, be detailed about it. Let the guys really get a sense of what you're wanting to put onto the tabletop to bring the tabletop to life.
Yeah.
You know, Rob, thank you very much, mate. This looks like it's going to be a fantastic project.
Before I go, Justin, I want to say one thing.
Yes.
Part of the beauty of this
is
it's indestructible.
Indestructible.
And to prove that, I've brought my
not the iPad.
Hammer. No, oh no, it's not the hammer. But look, you know, you can bash all this. It's not going to break. You know, that's the beauty of plastic, is that you can drop this when it's a particularly furious. You know, if someone flips the table during a particularly furious session.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely fine. There you go.
Okay. Guys.
So back the Kickstarter, everyone.
Bye, guys.
There you have it, Terrain Crate.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like this idea. I like the fact that you can get more of those little incidental pieces for your actual dungeons and, you know, your games of D&D or whatever. You know, it's nice to just to be able to fill it out instead of just using, like, cardboard chits and stuff.
Yeah. I like the idea of a whole big box. What size is this box?
I'm not sure. I mean,
like a big box?
The Kickstarter is coming. You know, I think it may be delayed a week or something, but, you know, it's coming. It's one to keep an eye out for.
Cool. Interesting stuff. Another thing to keep an eye out for has just arrived in the office this week.
Yeah. No, I want to make this clear. It's convention season for us here at Beast of War, and we are constantly having to travel to and from events, right?
Yeah.
If we're traveling with Warren, that means we're taking the boat to England.
So
when we're on the boat, I want to play games.
So you're Mr. Excited anytime any sort of travel game arrives in the office. Oh, a new travel game!
Exactly. So this one, not necessarily a travel game, but it's small enough to actually just quickly throw in your bag and then throw down on the table. So Lloyd, say hello to Rock, Paper, Wizards.
Hello, Rock, Paper, Wizards.
So, you remember the old game Rock, Paper, Scissors?
Yeah.
This is a similar concept for the actual gameplay, right?
Okay.
So if you crack it open, the whole concept is you are an adventuring party of wizards. Why you're all wizards, I don't know, you just are. But you've killed the dragon's horde lays before you. Unfortunately, the glint of greed grows within the hearts of each of the party members.
Yeah.
So it quite suddenly devolves into a free-for-all to see who's going to get the most of the treasure.
Okay, so I've opened the box.
Yep, comes with a little board, right?
Here's our dragon.
Yep.
Right, here's our board. What do we do with these things, Justin? What do we do with the cards?
All right, so the cards are essentially a common spell pool. So what we do is, if you give those here,
yeah,
we give these a quick shuffle, right?
Okay.
So, quick shuffle, nice big cards. If I don't fire
You've
them
picked the most awkward way to shuffle then. Surely the other way would have worked better.
What, this way?
Yeah, there you go.
No, that's even worse.
Oh.
That's even worse. But, right, so you shuffle this up, you put that down as your draw deck.
Yeah.
So if I make a little space here.
Okay. So now
So the game starts from 3 players up, right? So say we had 3 players. We will flip 3 cards, and this is a common spell pool that we can all pick from, right?
Ooh, okay, yep.
So basically, you'll read what they do on the card. The whole key is, spells will either move you closer to the horde,
yeah,
move your opponents further away from the horde, or do other wizzy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what we would do is,
go rock, paper, wizard, and on wizard, you actually show what your spell is, and these show.
You just missed Ben going rock, paper.
Oh, I caught it. Did they catch it, Ben?
No.
Behave yourself. All right, so basically, I would go rock, paper, wizard, and I would put my hand like that, and that would be.
Oh, you have to do the symbol.
This spell. So
is there loads of different symbols?
There are. So you've got fireball, which is the fist. This, which is stinking cloud.
I'm gonna like this one. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull that one off.
There we go. Dominant person.
That's it. That's the one.
Yeah. So you know what? So what this one does?
Yeah.
If you look at the symbols here, the target gets pushed 3 spaces towards the exit.
Okay.
You take one of their gold.
Ooh.
So it's sort of a steal one.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Now it does come with a few additional bits for the actual gold and the actual characters.
So, but the 3 cards we've drawn, are they the only spells that we can do?
For this first round, the goal of the game is to get to 25 gold.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody starts with 3. Whoever's closest to the hoard of gold at the end of a round gets 5 gold. Whoever's second out gets 3.
Okay.
If any position is tied, both people in the tied position get the same amount of gold.
I see we have some little bases here.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
So you have some little bases which actually go with these. So you get little standees with it. You've got this, which is your first player token, all your little standees, and then your different types of gold, right?
Okay.
So, this is 1 gold, this is 3 gold, this is 5 gold.
Yeah.
And then you can basically have a common pile of gold that you're changing from, and it always says change to the highest common denominator of it.
What's with the big pictures then?
This is to show which character you're playing. So it's basically to let you keep track of what token is yours on the board.
Okay.
So it's a very simple, very fast to learn game.
Right, are we going to have a go at this then?
We can do.
If we pop some standees out.
Yeah, so pick 2.
I'll give you the pink wizard.
Alright, well that's purple.
Purple wizard. Ben, you can be Mr. Blue.
Yep.
And I will be Mr. Red.
Right.
So let me just pop these in.
Alright, so.
There's me.
Yep.
Mr. Red.
Yep, and they all start on this center line.
Hold on. There's Ben.
Yep.
And then Justin's Mr. Pink.
Yep. Looking rather nice. Right, so basically everybody starts on this center line.
Okay. Yeah.
And then what we do is we have that common spell pool. So I'll tell Ben very quickly. Ben, the current symbols we have on the tabletop
Good luck explaining these.
The peace sign, which is stinking cloud, which means target wizard and the 2 people beside him.
Close enough.
Go back towards the exit.
Yeah.
Okay.
A fist, which is the fireball, which knocks your target back 5 spaces. And wall of force, which moves you 2 spaces closer and moves a target to swap positions.
How did he know that?
There you go.
How did I know?
Oh, you're being smart and looking this up on the internet, aren't you?
He does have web capabilities. Ben comes with Wi-Fi, didn't you know? But right, so whenever you do rock, paper, wizard, on the wizard, you make the symbol and you point to who you're wanting to actually target, right?
Okay.
If 2 people target each other, you get a wild card. So you each draw a top card off the deck, put it in front of you.
Yeah.
And whenever it comes to your turn to resolve it, you resolve that wild spell because the magical forces have combined to do something random.
I'm going to swap us around. That's you there, Justin.
Alright.
And I'll control me and Ben.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so what, are you going to go this?
No, Ben's going to do his.
Okay.
This will be interesting.
Alright, so okay, so ready?
No, not at all. Right, ready now.
Right. Rock, paper, wizard. So who are you pointing at, Ben?
Lloyd.
Okay.
And I'm pointing at Justin.
And I'm pointing at Lloyd.
Does that mean something bad happens to me?
So Ben gets to do this to you.
Yeah.
So we'll say Ben's the first player, right?
Okay.
Ben gets to do the pinch one to you. So he gets to move.
So he's done this to me.
2 towards the actual goal, right?
He moves or I move?
He moves.
So Ben was Mr. Blue.
Yeah.
So 1, 2.
Yeah. And the person he was targeting, he would be switching position with.
That was me.
Yeah. So let me read the card just so I've got it right. Caster advances to target reverses gesture to point back at self. Ah, right. So actually, your one gets pointed back at you.
What did I do? I did Stinking Cloud. Okay. Yeah. So I did Stinking Cloud. Target gets pushed 3. Target gets pushed 3. Players seated next to target each get pushed 1.
Yeah.
It doesn't say back. It just says push 3.
Yeah, push 3. You see the symbol is the wee archway with the stones on it?
Yes.
That's towards the exit, the stone archway.
okay.
And then whenever it's got the gold symbol here, you're moving towards it.
No.
I
So
did a good
basically what
thing.
happens is, that reverses and targets you. You go back 1, 2, 3. Ben goes back 1. I go back 1.
Oh.
And then my 1 resolves. And I go 1, 2, forward. So I'm tied with Ben. But yours would get reversed on you again, but because you've already went, it doesn't happen.
If you say so.
Yeah, so at the end of the round, both myself and Ben would get 5 gold each. You would get 3.
Right, so I need 3.
Yeah, and we would all have already started with 3.
Oh. Well, we've a lot of gold then.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, next round then. So all these
So-
cards go away?
No, no. Only this card goes away, the far left
So
one.
it drops off.
Everything knocks forward.
Yep.
New card comes out. All right, so Ben, next one is Misty Step.
I don't know that one. I cheated with the other one. I don't know that one.
Caster moves to the same space as target. So
What's the
the
shape
actual
of that?
hand symbol for it is extend 3 fingers and cover your little finger bent in the way from your, and put it across the way.
Less Spock-like. Squish them all together. There you
Yeah.
go. And then lean it on its side, not straight up. That's it.
I kind of feel like I'm
No,
watching
the other way
Naruto.
around.
Upside down.
That's you're almost there, Ben.
Use your other hand.
No, your other
Near
hand.
enough, near enough. But basically, the game will cycle like this, round
Yeah.
after round, people pushing, moving forward, moving back, doing
Right, you
special
ready?
abilities, until someone hits 25 gold.
You ready?
All right,
Okay. Go on, do the count.
rock, paper, wizard.
As soon as he watching him to see. Right, let's do that again. Okay. Brand new go.
Right,
I'll concentrate on you rather than watching to see if Ben can catch up.
all right.
This lag's killing us.
Rock, paper, wizard.
Ah shit, I haven't got that right.
Who are you targeting, Ben?
Ugh.
You, Justin.
All right, I'm targeting you with a fireball.
And I'm
Oh,
pointing at Justin, the same symbol as Ben, approximately.
All right,
sort
now,
of.
the thing is, because it's a new round, first player rotates by 1 to you, Lloyd. So you go first.
Yeah.
So which one had you chosen?
Misty step towards you.
All right, so you were trading positions with me.
No, it says caster moves to the same space as the target.
Okay, so you would move up with me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Then it comes to me. Me and Ben have targeted each other this time. So we both get a random card. So I'll take the first one,
Dun dun dun.
and Ben takes the second one.
Which I'll pretend.
And
to
now
be
we
Ben.
have to resolve these 2 spells. Now these
Oh.
don't go into the common pool afterwards. This is just a random thing that's happened. So for my one, I've got the Ice Storm targeting Ben.
Yeah.
Ben, you get pushed back 4 spaces,
Oh,
and
what?
me and Lloyd get to move forward 2 spaces.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's do that.
So there it is there.
So
that's not
Ben?
fair.
Ben goes where?
Ben goes back 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I'm talking about.
That worked out quite well for me.
Okay. Now let's see what Ben's going to do to you.
What's Ben doing?
Target gets pushed 3. Target gets pushed 2.
Let me see. Okay, push back 2.
Doesn't do that, does it?
Target gets pushed 3, that means push back 3.
Yeah.
So move me back 3 spaces.
1, 2, 3.
Target's target gets pushed 2. Because I targeted Ben,
Ah,
he gets pushed back 2.
Uh oh. 1, 2. Is
He's
he
at
out the
the
door?
He's at the door, but he can't be pushed out.
Okay.
Alright, so once... It's the one thing it says. Sometimes you'll not be able to do everything on a card, but do as much as you can. You know, to
Right.
keep it fair. So those are now out
Okay,
of
so
the
you
game.
never get pushed off the board out of the game. You're
No,
always in
no.
the game.
No. And at the beginning of the round, if you are right up in the final zones, so in here, these 3,
Oh,
or in here, these 3,
I'm out by
you
1.
move forward or back 1.
Oh, yeah. I'm in.
No.
What?
If you were in here and we were
Oh.
starting a new round, you would move back 1.
Oh,
So that you're
okay.
not instantly in there. It sort of keeps it balanced a little bit.
Give me my gold. Do I get gold now?
Yes, you would gain 5, I would gain 3,
Whoa.
Ben would gain 0.
Hey!
So I'm currently on 13.
Let's just declare me the winner.
No, I think this is a game that I'm going to bring out to the pub a lot because
yeah,
it
it's
looks
good
like a lot of fun.
Sounds-
The one thing I will say is...
Wait. Pub and hand symbols.
Yeah.
It's gonna get pretty. Like I can't even do this 3-1. Can't keep my fingers together. I need a lot.
Oh yeah, you're thinking if you have a few pints, this could become a great drinking game.
You're like,
Yeah.
this is my symbol, Justin. I use this finger, by the way.
The one thing I want to do
Yeah.
is actually change out the standees because the guys at WizKids who make this actually do a really nice range of unpainted miniatures as well.
I did see stuff coming in.
So I have a few of them here. So if you want to open this,
Oh, hello.
Now, this stuff does...
Did you bring any method to open it with?
Dude, you just peel it. How to box?
Oh, yes, success, I'm in.
Yeah, but the guys at WizKids do sets of miniatures for both D&D and Pathfinder, right?
Right.
So you can use them for any of them because they're all about the right scale.
Ooh, hello. Let's see what you got first.
I've got some wizards.
Yeah, so...
Right? So if you want to put them both in there. These are... Oh, well, I've tore the box up to the point where I can't really tell.
That was smart.
Elf male sorcerers, I believe.
Yeah.
And they actually come with little bases as well.
They can't be male. This is clearly a female.
Alright, that could be wrong. Could be female then. So, if I can get this out. There we go.
Come on, Justin. You can do it.
There you go. They come with little bases which are pretty much the exact right size to fit on your board.
Oh, that is sweet. I love these clear plastic bits. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, if you mask that off before you prime and stuff, you can keep it and then throw a little ink down on that.
Yeah, I was thinking ink would be the way to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what I pulled out.
Yeah.
What did I get? So
looks like barbarians.
I will put that down. And my next one. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's definitely barbarians of some sort.
Yeah. But
oh yeah,
you could really have some fun with these.
So I pulled out. Sure, I have no idea.
This is the thing. I would say it shouldn't matter what sort of type of card
the human male fighter. It says up here.
Yeah.
Let's see the back of them before I get rid of those. They're looking sweet.
Yeah.
I see some of these coming home with me.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even for regular D&D minis, they're great. But for something like this, they're going to add a little extra to the game, I think. And I don't mind if you've got the right class of character. Let's just say everybody knows the magic. They're nice, aren't they?
Oh, this is real cool here. Is this a wizard that I've got here, or what's this?
Yeah, that's a human male cleric.
Oh, yes.
2 human male clerics.
Now we're talking. Some of these are going to vanish with me.
Yeah. Well, here, have a look at the Rangers.
Hold on, I want to show people the backs.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Oh, that's really cool, the double layer cape looking thing going on.
Yeah. Well, it's cape and a capelet.
Cape and a capelet. Right, what have you given me? Human Ranger.
Yeah, and I've got some halfling rogues.
The thing that I really liked about this range as well is that obviously we've got a lot of the heroes and the different characters there, but they also do all the sort of monsters and little tiny, creatures and stuff as well. So you can pick up kobolds and goblins and zombies and all sorts of different things too, which means that for anybody who's trying to put together a proper, D&D toolkit, this is a good way to, get stuck into it really.
Okay, so I've got some female rangers here, some female human rangers. If I can just get my fingers out of the way. That's looking cool again. Front and back. What have you got out there, Justin?
Halfling rogues.
Oh, yes.
Look at the other one. It's got a little clear smoke cloud on it.
Oh, that's class. I'm going to have to bring in...
And that one actually pops off the base so you can paint it separately.
One of these taller figures to get an idea of the scale.
Oh no, you want proper scale? I've got human barbarians here who are massive. Look at this.
Let's see the barbarian. Oh yeah,
huge.
That guy's just epic.
Oh, I love this one. Look at the character on that face.
Hold on, just turn that round to the back.
Now, there's a question. Yeah, they all come on the same base size. But I think adding something like these is going to add another layer to this wee game. You don't have to, but you can. And it means that you and your mates can all go away and have a wee bit of a painting session on a single character mini.
Yeah.
That's one thing I used to love whenever we were playing D&D, was actually just finding those characterful little minis and just sitting painting just one up on my own to be my character, my guy or girl within the world. But actually, no, I was wrong. So the halflings actually come on smaller bases.
Oh yeah. They do indeed.
Well, what do you think, Wood? Would you add these to it to change things up a wee bit?
Yeah, it'd be sweet to be able to play. I mean, immediately, straight away, it's looking more interesting. But then, the standees are good at a push too.
Yeah,
because I don't want to take miniatures and stuff to the pub because they're gonna get squished.
No. But if you're wanting to take the game to that next level, because that's something we do love to do in here, is actually just say, how can we make these games even better? This is it for me. I don't mind if the character model is a wizard, yay or nay. I think it just makes it look cooler.
Yeah, well, most of these are concocting something anyway.
Yeah.
This guy immediately looks like...
the clerics.
He's casting some sort of spell. The halfling looks like he's casting some sort of Smoke spell. I can't remember what these were.
Wizards, elven wizards.
Oh, they are elven wizards.
Yeah, pointy ears.
Yeah. So I mean,
But the details are fantastic on those.
yeah.
You
Sweet.
get a lick of paint down on them, they're going to look great.
What is it? Is it a type of resin or what?
I think it's a PVC plastic. It's quite rigid, but the actual spellcasty bits are reasonably soft.
Yeah. Cool.
Ooh,
Liking
that's
that a lot.
interesting. So this one, the hand is actually in.
Yeah, it's in the inside the sort of fireball thing.
Yeah, so it's sort of iridescent.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's cool.
Anyway,
Sweet. Well, you
that
get the
is
general
Rock
gist.
Paper Wizard. That is Rock Paper Wizard. I think it's a fantastic little travel game.
Butchered rock paper wizard.
I've shown you how it plays.
Right.
Shown you how
Okay.
it
Well, we're
plays.
gonna have to take that to the pub, and then we can update you as to how well the whole finger symbol thing goes. Right. Well, stay tuned for that. I think we'll move on. We're gonna move on and do some Kickstarters.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Okay. So we mentioned that there's a Faith character miniature set up for grabs at the start of the show.
Yes.
Ben, you want to tell us more about the actual prize?
Yeah.
If you want to win this, get your comments in below for your chance to win.
On Facebook, YouTube, and BeastofWar.com. Yeah.
Absolutely, and we'll go sort of choose as random. So, get your comments in. Ben, give us a lowdown on Faith. Tell us about the Kickstarter first, and then you can tell us about what we can win.
Yeah, cool. So the Faith Sci-Fi RPG Kickstarter is one that's sort of been going around for a while from Burning Games. They've done a couple of different modules in the past, but this is them sort of condensing things down into their core set and their core rulebook. Now, we talked about these guys a little bit before, a couple of weekenders ago and things like that, but they're coming towards the sort of end of their campaign now. I think there's about 5 days left on it. This is a really cool sort of sci-fi world that they've built up with some fantastic looking characters and some miniatures to boot as well, which is one of the prizes that you can win here from this episode. But the whole really big cool thing about this is that it's all a card-driven game. There's no dice involved in this. It's all done with cards, a little bit like Malifaux and things like that. And things that are basically done on sort of a push-your-luck mechanic with your cards. So you'll have a deck of them, and you'll play down the values, and you'll try and beat the opponents with their values. A little bit sort of like blackjack style, so you're trying to hit the right numbers and stuff. And it's just this fantastic game that is brimming with amazing artwork and absolutely amazing backstory as well. The characters are looking fantastic too. And this sort of brings me over towards what we're going to be looking at for the competition prize here. Now, you can win the Sci-Fi RPG character set, which is all 8 of the characters to one lucky person, done by Burning Games. And as you can see, they're looking absolutely fantastic. They have humans in there. They've got some of their different alien species too. Now, we put together a little bit of an article on this, which was going through all the different backgrounds to some of these characters, because all of them have actually got their own names and stuff, but you can kind of use them as sort of generic characters as well in the universe.
So what we're looking at in this article is what you can win.
Yeah, well, all the things you see there are the ones you can win. So you've got the painted models there as well, which are some of the 3 new ones, and they've also got the other 5, which are the ones that were done through previous campaigns as well. So you've got loads of really cool guys to look at here. But yes, you can win these by commenting, as we mentioned before, but basically what the guys at Burning Games want you to do is they wanted you to tell them which one's your favourite. So basically write down which one's your favourite and potentially a little bit about why, and then we'll pick a winner, and one of you will be walking away with a fantastic
Oh wait,
new
let me
set of these
clarify
miniatures.
something though, Ben. I said we choose a random. Are we actually choosing the best comment? Is the best comment being chosen, or is it
but
just a random
we'll-
comment from those saying
Yeah,
what they
a
liked
random
about them?
comment. Yeah, a random comment from those that have talked about which one's their favourite miniature and stuff. So yeah.
Honestly, the male human is my favorite just because it's such a different pose. You know, sort of wall running.
That is kind of cool,
Yeah,
actually.
it is very, very cool.
Very different. Very, very nice.
I was particularly sort of won over by Yin Lee, who's the female Corvo there at the very bottom, because she's sort of doing a little bit of a Mission Impossible style thing, sort of descending from the ceiling, ready to attack somebody, or maybe even doing a little bit of a backflip and stuff in combat. Because one of the big things about the game is that it's all driven by a lot of sort of cinematic sort of action. And it's based on what you sort of put forward towards the DM or the GM, sorry, in this case. So, like, if you sort of really emote about what you want to try and do, then maybe that'll give you bonuses and stuff to the cards that you play down and things. So, yeah, it's all a very, very cinematic game in a very, very awesome cinematic universe. Yeah,
Really cool. Really,
Cool.
really cool.
Right, staying with Kickstarter. Oh, what's it say again? Get your comments below. It's cool stuff.
Yeah. Which of these is your favorite?
Yeah, cool stuff. Right, moving on, but staying with Kickstarters, we've got the Third Law. What the heck
Yeah.
is this, Ben? What is the Third
Robots.
Law? What?
yeah. So
If
the
it's the
third law is all to
clearly
do
it's
with
going to be robots.
yeah. It's all to do
You
with
don't know
robots.
the three laws of robotics?
Oh, the Third Law.
Yeah, 3 laws of robotics.
Fair enough. Mr. Smarty Pants. I've done been told again.
Watch Bicentennial Man.
I don't watch Bicentennial Man. I've seen it. It's just terrible.
It's one of my favourite chill-out movies.
I know, but at the end they die, and it's just like heart-wrenching.
It's
You're like,
beautiful.
Spoilers.
oh, but
Spoilers.
they're dead and they're old.
One of Robin Williams' best roles.
I like the movie, but God, does it pull at your heartstrings? They're dead and they're
Exactly.
old and they're in bed and they can't move. Life's just terrible.
One is glad to be of service.
Oh God, move on. Tell us about this thing, Ben.
Okay, so this is the third law, which is by Primogenesis, and it's got about sort of 26 days left on its Kickstarter. And this is a game where you play what are called machinists, and they are sort of controllers of not just one robot, but an entire team of them.
Yeah.
These robots are called wreckers. Right, and so the idea of this game is you're going to be playing as these machinists, battling it out with their robots on the tabletop. You'll assemble a team of these wreckers based on a couple of different factions. So you've got the Carbon Combine, who are sort of have like wrecking ball machines and stuff like that. There's the Full Metal Dragons, who have got like a little bit of a sci-fi sort of Far Eastern feel to them. So you've got guys with samurai swords and stuff. There's Liberty Division, who've got really sleek-looking robots, and then there's the Ridden as well, who are actually wreckers that actually have some of their people sort of basically jacked into them on the battlefield, which is pretty cool. And so you'll be going around and you'll be trying to smash up all the the opponents with your mechs and stuff, and trying to come out the other side and destroy the other person and hit them with this sort of feedback damage and things, right? One of the interesting things about this game, actually, that I was sort of looking at when I was going through the rules and things, is the way that the sort of the damage is dealt, right? So we said that there's this feedback thing there where you take damage to your machinist over time by having your wreckers destroyed. But if your wreckers get destroyed, they're not completely out of the game. At the end of the game round, the sort of mechanics sort of bodge it all together and get it back out onto the tabletop.
Okay, yeah.
Which means that you'll never have a situation where it's like, oh, it's all over by turn 2. Everything will always go down to the wire because you'll always have your full complement of robots there. It's just obviously you might have taken a little bit of more damage as things are going on. So you're always in sort of encouraged to try new tactics and potentially do something a little bit different. Maybe use a wrecker in a different way. Maybe you'll bring it on in like a different part of the battlefield and stuff as well. But yeah, really cool looking game. Got some really fantastic looking miniatures, really nice artwork in there as well, and some cool mechanics and stuff going on in the background. So
I have to say, I love the Smithson shock sphere. That thing just looks absolutely badass. I love the look of this thing.
yeah, they've done some really, really fantastic looking miniatures for this. They all sort of range between sort of, I think it's around sort of 32 mil for one of the I think it's the Wretch, all the way up to around 65 millimeters for the big sort of samurai guys as well. So they've done some absolutely fantastic looking miniatures for this. You can see some of the ones that were done by a studio painting team as well. I think it's Dark Iron Studios, and they look very, very cool.
Some of them look like an angry Wally.
Yes.
Wally,
They
come
do,
to destroy you. Nya, 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 nya. No?
No, I'm laughing.
I don't think there's anything more scary than an angry Wally.
Probably.
An angry Eve. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, she got some attitude in that movie. Mm-hmm.
Why are we talking about Disney?
Why not?
Aye.
It's Pixar. Who doesn't love a Pixar movie?
It does look like it's going to be a lot of fun, this Kickstarter. There's some really cool miniatures in there. If you like painting your heavy metal, you want to do some cool weathering and stuff, this is going to be the one for you, I would say.
As I say, they've got sort of 26 days left on the Kickstarter. If you're really interested in learning a little bit more about the rules, they've got a tutorial video up there as well as a sort of a breakdown of the different ways in which you can use the cards and sort of how they all work together in terms of building teams. And I think they've also got a print and play version as well, so you can go and check that out and do a little bit of a try before you buy kind of thing with this Kickstarter, which is always good in my books. So yeah,
That's one thing I see a lot of companies doing these days, is actually passing out that rule set and letting people get a feel for the mechanics before they actually jump in and put their money to it.
Well, it's the way to go. There's no point in keeping the flavour of your game behind a paywall.
Yeah,
And then nobody can experience your game to get excited about it.
exactly.
I mean, video games have been doing it for years with a demo.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic idea, and I salute every games company that's doing that these days.
because it's I think it's more difficult with like tabletop gaming and stuff to portray what your game's about. If you put it all behind a paywall and say you don't get to know any of it until you've pledged or until it's released.
Yeah.
Because let's take video gaming for example, like I just did. You know pretty much a video game like it's an FPS. I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a platformer. I know what's going to happen. Whereas when it comes to tabletop gaming, yes, we roll dice and we draw cards and stuff, but they're all very different from each other. Different mechanics to play different ways and stuff. So it's great to be able to get your hands on something and go, oh, this is really cool. I'm excited about this. And then get your mates excited about it. So 2 or 3 of you can all
Yeah.
jump in at
Yeah.
the same
It's the
time.
same for video games because they can actually show quick snippets of the actual gameplay to show really cool things happening, all the epic stuff. Miniatures gaming, you actually have to know what you're up to a little better to actually pull off some of the epic things you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, exciting stuff.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna end the show
All right.
because
that
I
time
need to
then?
fill my pockets with D&D miniatures here. So we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, well, you're not
after
getting
I've
this one. This one's mine.
stole all the D&D miniatures.
You still have skeletons to paint.
Damn it, I'll put them back.
All right,
If you've
guys.
enjoyed the show, come on over tomorrow morning to watch the XLBS show over on beastofwar.com. Become a backstager to get access to it. There's a 7-day free trial that you can try out though as
Free
well.
trial, not
Free trial that you can try. Guess what? Like putting your rules out for free.
Yep.
We do the same thing. We'll let you try Backstage free for 7 days.
Yep,
Not just this show, but all our other shows. We've got paint tutorials,
Yep. We've got Hobby Labs.
hobby labs, gameplay videos,
Yep.
all sorts of stuff.
And designer interviews and stuff. So we actually get to talk to the people behind the scenes who have been actually creating these games and these worlds and stuff.
Yeah, but if you are a Backstager, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Until then, have a great day's gaming.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now, and be sure to check out beastofwar.com for the latest gaming news and gaming Let's Plays. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.